My notepad here. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. What's going on, good people? It's yours truly, Hassan Bangor, back again with another episode of Shine Collective Podcast, where we help you figure out how do you make your passion pay you. All right. I have here with me David Marion. And so just a little bit about David. David was born in South Carolina and now resides in Richmond, where clearly just a whole bunch of artists here, right? Originally discovered his passion and his gift for art at an early age and took those talents to HU, the Pirates.
That's right.
Hey, look, Howard, I don't got no dog in this fight. But Hampton was then had an opportunity to learn architecture there. And then just a little bit about David. He has his artwork hung in exhibits all over the East Coast and is on his way to becoming a nationally artist, right? One of the things that's really special that I had a chance to just pull out in your bio as well is that him and his wife end up starting something called the Liberated Flow Charity Art Gala, where they get a chance to really show and highlight different things that are happening in the Richmond community. So really quick, if you haven't had a chance to see some of his work is also highlighting Blackness in all its forms, especially talking about families and just how Black people are doing within the times. So without further ado, right, I was kind of long-winded. I hope I got everything.
Hey, man. I'm bring you on the road.
Without further ado, I want to introduce y'all to David Marion. David, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure.
Honored and blessed to be amongst, my peers.
Come
and,
on.
Be able to see your beautiful family.
Oh, yeah.
That's cool.
No, it's a pleasure having you here, man. So, listen, I know I gave like the whole rundown of, just who you are in your bio, but I just want to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit who you are now.
Yeah, so like you said, born and raised Orangeburg, South Carolina. I don't expect
Orangeburg.
anybody to know what Orangeburg is. But so I've been doing art pretty much all my life. Started off as the typical cliche story. Kind of taught myself through cartoons. Thought I was going to be a cartoonist at one point in time. That was my goal and my trajectory. But it's pretty much all God-given talent. The first time that I really knew that I wanted to be an artist or something related in that realm, was when I think I was in the first grade. We had a book assignment due on animals, and somehow I selected the animal a vulture, and you had to write a book report about a vulture.
Okay.
I wrote a book report about a vulture, but one of the things that I like to do when I got done with assignments, I like to actually draw on the artwork on the assignment as well. So I drew a picture of a vulture. The teachers thought it was so impressive that next thing I knew, a news crew was there filming me about art and
Wow.
and just what it meant to be an artist.
Yeah.
And when I saw that, and I saw how inspired everyone else was, I was like, all right, I think I want to do this. Because it was the first time in my life that I saw how art is able to make people feel. And I drew a picture of a vulture. It was nothing serious.
Yeah.
But the fact that they were just impressed that, hey, a kid took the time to actually go above and beyond and do something that he's passionate about with the assignment, and it made them feel good, that's when the first little art bug kind of hit me. So from that point on, I knew I wanted to be an artist. I had a great family structure in South Carolina. My sister, who grew up in the TLC era, where everyone was drawing cartoon characters on their jeans. She would have like lines of people at the door from the high school coming to bring me jeans to draw on. So I got that pass. I felt like I was one of the cool kids because the older kids was coming up to me. And that was just the start of that bug for me. And then, that translated into high school. I really thought I was going to be an artist, but growing up in the 80s and the 90s, you got to think we didn't have like social media. There was no Facebook, no Instagram, no Twitter. YouTube wasn't prevalent. So nobody saw how I can make it as an artist. So they were like, please, like, you talented,
but
please don't do it. You're going to die broke. And that was the perception, So I turned down art scholarships. I was like, how about you do something a little more safe like architecture? You draw buildings, the same thing. And I let people talk me out of my dream. I actually went that route because I felt like, well, I need to find a way to make money. Went to architecture thinking that it was going to be a seamless transition. went to the world renowned phenomenal Hampton University. You know, my home
Come
by the
on
sea.
now. Come on now.
And
Ain't you?
yeah.
Prepping like I don't. Please don't.
Hey, but slowly found out that architecture is nothing like art.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, the first year was more like art, and the second year I'm like, where the art go?
All right.
But everything happens for a reason. I'm still currently working in the architectural field to this day. So I'm kind of like, I got 2 full-time jobs. I made my way in Richmond, Virginia. My wife went to VCU. She's from New York. I'm from South Carolina. This kind of ended up being like the halfway point for both of us. So we just kind of like dug our roots in this area and surrounded myself with a phenomenal art community, and my start is starting still starting to take off, you know?
Yeah. Well, first off, like, thank you for sharing that story. And I just want to highlight a couple things. One, the art community in Richmond is like really, really awesome, right?
Yeah.
Just our connection alone was from another artist, actually Ron Stokes. So Ron, if you're watching this, huge shout out to you. But just making it very easy for us to like just kind of plug and connect and that's one of the things I really have come to admire about this city. Not being a native of Richmond, is just how plugged or how disconnected everybody is, especially when it comes to this art scene.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So there's a couple places I want to go.
Mm-hmm.
The first place I want to go is actually, the struggle place, right? So this part where the struggle spot. So this part where you were told to not follow through with this dream, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was your perception? How did you feel? Just kind of hearing people saying that.
It was demoralizing because I knew what I wanted to do. Like, art has always been my passion. I'm like, I'm not going to be a cartoonist or a comic book artist or an animator or a fine artist. I want to do something in that realm. And I understood where people didn't see my dream or didn't understand, because the perception at that time was that you could survive as an artist. And now there's so many different avenues or directions that you can go in pursuing art. So it discouraged me at first, but then after I graduated, I started thinking about it, and I was like, I can make it in both. And I'm gonna show y'all that I can make it in both. I'm gonna make it in architecture and I'm gonna make it in art. So that kind of put the battery in my back to kind of like prove people wrong that no, you can make it as an artist, you can be successful, you can leave an impact. So my struggle mode, or not really a struggle mode for me, but that realm of thinking just kind of like turned into an opposite reaction for me.
So what do you wish they would have said to you instead? And I asked that question because we both got kids, right?
Yeah.
And while it's a different generation, a different mode, I think it's just important to reflect on how we wanted that conversation to go. So if you could go back in time and like talk to yourself again, what would you have wanted the message to be around you chasing your passion?
Just to don't give up. If that's what makes you happy, pursue it. And when I look back at it, I don't regret a thing, because my path has been incredible, and everything that I've learned, all the people and acquaintances and just the extended family that I've met along the way, all was because of this journey. But I mentor youth right now and parents that come to me concerned because their kids want to pursue art. And I tell them the same thing that I wish someone would have told me. I tell them that, look, don't discourage anyone from their dream and their true passion, because what happens is you end up doing something that you don't want. You're racking up all this financial debt, and then you're miserable, stuck in a career path that you never intended to be, always going back and regretting what could have been.
What could have been. It's, I as you were saying that, a term just came in my spirit. Now tell me what resonates with you when you hear this term: spiritual debt. And I think spiritual debt is the debt that you accumulate when you're not in alignment with yourself, right?
Absolutely.
So I feel like that's something that I'm gonna coin this term. So if anybody use it, come on, man, y'all.
You get on a t-shirt.
Yeah, no, for real. But I think like no one talks about the spiritual debt that can be built up over time if you don't actually do the thing that you were created to do.
It's a true conflict with your soul. It's a true conflict with your spirit.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that's one of the things about like just this space that we want to curate is that, hey, listen, if you say you're gonna be an artist, all right, all I can do is list what could be potential roadblocks.
Yeah.
But I need you to follow through and just know that these roadblocks might come, and if they don't, they're perfect, right? But if they do, recognize it for what it is and stay within your purpose.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So my bad.
Hey, no. Turn the tables on you. I'm gonna interview you.
Please.
About this.
So now you shared a little bit about you mentoring the youth. So like, just tell us a little bit more about that. How did you get into mentorship, and just what is the role that you want to play now as a mentor to your mentees?
I always was a big advocate in mentoring the youth. And it started even at Hampton University. I was a part of mentorship programs where we went into behavioral health settings where we like talked to like underserved, communities, and just kind of talking to the kids, because a lot of them didn't even see what it was like to actually experience a college campus or know Black kids that were on a college campus. Because for a lot of those kids, college was so far out of reach for them. So it started with that. I did some programs with Art 180. I'm also a member of St. Paul's Baptist Church, where I created an artist type of ministry to kind of like engage the youth with that. But not only that, it's also just a reflection of my art, because at one point in time, I was solely focused on creating art that was a reflection of the Black youth. And the reason that I did that was because when I was coming up in South Carolina, I didn't see artwork that depicted me. I didn't see me in the art, and I didn't see Black artists doing what I wanted to do. So that kind of discouraged me, like, well, I can't do this, I'm not a white artist. So by me actually depicting the Black youth and showing them images of themselves in art, it for one shows them that they can do anything that they want, and if they have a true goal of being an artist, that's something that's obtainable, because they see a Black artist doing it and creating images of them that they could resonate with. So that's where the mentorship even starts, if you want to think about it, because you're able to see yourself in something.
Yeah.
So as soon as you can see yourself in something, you put the battery in somebody's back.
And I see that you create a lot of like realistic pictures, if you will. Portraits. I'm like, what can I say? What's your, like, how did you get into like creating portraits? And why portraits, right? Like, you don't have to. Why portraits?
That's a crazy question. Nobody's ever asked me why I was resonated with portraits. But I have to credit, and I didn't go to school for art. So my foundation and my building blocks were everything that I learned in like middle school, elementary school, and high school. And I credit my high school art teachers a lot for where I am today, because they actually taught me the art of oil portraiture. And they were Black artists also. So that was like one of the first times that I got to see Black artists doing it outside of JG on Good Times. I thought he was a real artist at one point in time. But when I saw that really put a spark into me. So they were the ones that showed me actually how to create a portrait and how to like start the very basic rudimentary levels of portraiture and how to make a face, how to make it look like a person. And then they showed me oil, how to manipulate oils, how to mix the colors in oils, what's the safest way of using oils. And from there, I just took that and just kind of compounded it, experimented, and just did my own thing. But I think what drew me to portraiture is the fact that I could see myself in it, or I can make other people see themselves in it. And that really goes towards the art of storytelling, where I'm trying to go to. Because I'm real big on storytelling. I'm real big on my art conveying messages. And if you can see yourself in the message I'm trying to create, it's gonna hit.
It's gonna hit home.
Yeah.
What's the message that you really want to hit home?
The Black experience, whatever that means.
What's your Black experience?
How much time you got on this thing, man?
Not for real. Hey man, for sure.
My Black experience, man, is multifaceted. I mean, it's pain, it's joy, it's faith, it's love, it's pride, it's fear, it's everything that you could think of that embodies the human experience. Sometimes it all hits all at once, you know. Right. Sometimes it's just little segments of things, that kind of makes up your experience. But come through a lot, and even the people that are in my family, my loved ones, I've seen them go through a lot. So it gets to a point where sometimes their experiences become my experience because I'm living it through them, even though I'm not living it personally.
Mm. I think that's one of the most beautiful things about art, right? Being able to capture both your story and other people's story.
Yeah.
Real quick, I write poetry. It's
Okay.
been some time. Yeah, it's been some time since I picked up the pen. But let me tell you something. Come on, from Black Cancer Style, listen. And one of the things I used to really do is I used to try to tell poetry from different vantage points, right? So I used to, like, let's say we're in a relationship. I'm like talking about a relationship, and I would talk about what the female perspective would be and what the male perspective would be, and it would be kind of like this dialogue, right? But I'm sharing that because for me it was really therapeutic to be able to jump into somebody else's experience, to be able to understand and pull out messages from what they could be going through, right? So that's like for me. I mean, I don't know if that's your like personal take on that idea of mirroring, but what does it do for you to be able to like capture both your essence or your story and also be able to capture other people in your art?
I love it. And it's cool because if you're close to me, if I consider you family or extended family, you go find your way in one of my paintings.
That's awesome.
You know?
If I see a painting of me somewhere, then
hey, for real, you're gonna find your way in one of my paintings because I'm real big on honoring the people that I know, the people that support me, and sometimes you just have to depict something outside of what you are and what you know.
Yeah.
Even though I know these people, I don't know their full experiences. And there's been times where I've created a work of art. I don't let them know what my concept is and what I'm trying to convey. So sometimes they're doing some crazy stuff. They're sitting there like you know, I'm setting them up in these awkward poses because I have a vision in mind that they don't see. But there's been a couple of times that once the art is created and I show them, themselves in the artwork, it really hit home for them because even though they didn't know what I was trying to convey or what I was trying to do at the time, it completely hit on their experience.
On everything that they was going through.
That they were going through. And that became a full circle moment right there.
Yeah. I have something in my mind, but I want to talk a little bit more about first the honoring, right? Who are just some people in your life that you honor in your work?
My wife.
Shout out to
my kids, my nephews, my family, my friends that I've met here along the way. All these people are people that I've honored in some sort of way.
Yeah.
And even my friends' kids, they find their way in a lot of these art pieces too, because by honoring their families, I'm honoring them. By honoring them, I'm honoring their families. And it kind of creates, it's something that's so profound about seeing yourself in a work of art and knowing that you're in something that could last forever.
Come on.
That outlives you, that can be passed down to your family and generations and generations and generations to come. So that's how, in my way, I try to create legacy through art. And I'm creating legacy through art for the people that...
Hey, hold on, bro. Nah, listen, let me tell you about God, because... So I do these things on a podcast called Motivational Mondays, right? So I've been like really trying to think about, like, man, what the hell am I about to talk about this Monday coming up, right? Yeah. And in the... so if you're saying this... but on this Motivational Monday segment, I actually wanted to talk about legacy, right? As a dad, one of the things, my son is a year and 14 months. One, I hate doing that. He's a year old. He's a year old. Like, he's a year old. But when he was first born, I was really struggling as a dad for the first time, right? And one of the reasons why I was struggling, because I was like, man, I don't got the millions yet. I don't got the real estate, and everybody telling you, like, you got to create generational wealth. I want to do the same. Yo, and I was like, yo, I had to really think about legacy for a second, right? And I kind of like, the conversation wasn't supposed to go here, but this is really God. And one of the things I was thinking about was, what does my last name mean, right? Like, if I give you my last name, what does that even mean, right? What, when I'm talking about passing things down, am I passing down money? Am I passing down time? Am I passing down my values? What am I passing down? What is the legacy I want to give to my son? And so, like, it was so crazy. I'm like, well, I can't just, you got my last name and right. So I really want to be very intentional about what is the legacy that I'm passing down to him. So I guess I want to just throw that back to you with, like, when you think about this idea of legacy, especially being Black men, especially being fathers with sons, what does that look like for you?
Oh man, and I think about this often too. And I was in the same boat as you. When we first had that first kid, when that line was on that pregnancy test, even though we planned for it, and they always tell you that you can never prepare for kids, because we was living check to check, not knowing how we was going to make it.
I was practicing. I didn't know it was going to be time for real game.
Yeah.
It was just practice.
God made a way.
Yeah, for sure.
And we talk about this, I talk about this with my wife now. We're in that same mode. We're like, we got to create generational wealth. We got to do this thing for the kids. We got to, get them the experiences that we've never had. And what does that look like in terms of defining legacy? But for me, it's just simple. It's the character that you instill in them.
Yeah.
Because everything starts with your character.
Yeah.
You stand on your character.
Come on.
You stand on the respect that others people have for you. And we talk about generational wealth in terms of monetary things, like properties, money, things like that. But I'm real big in investing in people, because the more
nobody talks about that.
Investing in people.
Nobody talks about that.
If you can inspire 10 people, and those 10 people, not to say hang on your every word, but they respect you to a level where they be like, that's a man of integrity. Anything that he does, I rock with, because I know his character. That's worth more than any amount of money that you can ask for, because that respect that they have for you, and the fact that they know that you're a solid, stand-up, A1 type of individual, that's something that translates
time.
Time,
money, energy, space.
Yeah.
You name it.
Even to this day, I have a conflict, because I give so much of myself to people, because that's just the type of person that I am.
Yeah.
And I want my kids to pick up on that too, because that's the building blocks of a community. If you think about it.
Man, nah, this was the fun, dog. you taking all the words right out my mouth, like, and I'm trying not to I'm just trying to just.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I want the money.
Yeah.
But I just know what's important. Like, I would never sell my soul for anything that's monetary. Even when it comes to this art game that I'm in, I turn down work left and right, because for two reasons. I might not have the time, or I know somebody who may be more better suited to do it, or who could probably use the opportunity. I give opportunities away all the time, because there's so much to go around. And then that's a lasting impression that person has on you, that, hey, that person wasn't for the money, when I could have took it and just racked up a couple of G's. Yeah. I'm like, no, when somebody else can do that.
Yo, there's I said my mantra for the day. That's what I'm like, I don't know if you was watching, I don't know, come on now. But the mantra for today was, I have rich friends. That was the mantra.
Wow.
That was the mantra, right? Because and the idea really is, like you said, in community, right? Yeah. Like, I pray that God blesses my friends, because I know that if God blesses my friends, then my blessing is coming.
Your blessing's coming.
Right? If I'm the 10th friend and the first 9 people that made it, I know I'm gonna make it.
You know
You know what I'm saying? And I want my friends to have I want my friends to have rich experiences. I want them to have rich lives. I want them to have rich families. I want them to have riches, right? Because then they'll be able to share that with me, because we're in proximity, right? We're in proximity with time. We're in proximity with friendships. So I need people around me to be doing good, so that I can be doing good as well, right?
Yep.
This idea of, like, if I'm the only person doing good in this neighborhood, right, then everybody gonna be gunning for you. But if everybody's eating, If everybody's doing good, then I'm solid. I don't
The
gotta.
whole fam eat, everybody eat. That's my mantra. And that's the way it's been panning out too. Like I don't just talk that talk. I walk that walk also because all the people that's in my circle, we came up even in this Richmond scene and beyond this Richmond scene, we were always equally yoked. And they always tell you that, hang with the people that you see yourself being, or the people that you know that you can pull up and they will pull you up. And all of our friends, all of us, my circle right now have like reached so many incredible heights.
Yeah.
And me being inspired by what they're doing and me praying for them and me like bigging up their accomplishments and them doing the same thing for me. Oh,
They just hand it right to you.
Yeah, it comes back tenfold.
So let's do this, right? This is a segment in this podcast where I want you to just go down the list of the things that you've done and accomplished that you're proud of, and feel free to also use this time to gas up your friends, right?
Yeah.
And your community has also done well, but please start with yourself because it's important, right? Like we do not take the time to reflect on our accomplishments.
Man,
we just don't.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? So like, I need you to start with you first.
We don't celebrate our wins.
Come on. So go ahead and run it up. What are some things that you've done, man, that you are so proud of that you've accomplished?
I'm proud of my family. I'm proud of the life that we built for our family and the fact that they don't want for anything. The fact that they live the type of life that, put it this way, they don't know struggle from day one. They do not know a struggle.
Right.
And because of that, they feel like that's how life is for everyone. I have to always pull them back to say, no, everybody ain't living this way.
Yeah.
You need to chill.
Yeah.
You can't be boastful. You can't be doing any of that type of stuff because what is your perception of reality ain't everybody's reality. So I'm super proud of the family that we built, me and my wife. I'm proud of my accomplishments knowing that I'm not even a full-time artist. But for me, not being a full-time artist, I've had so much success and accomplishments and full-time experiences.
Come on.
And I guess it's because of who I am as a person and the integrity that they see in me that I don't have to go out there and hunt for work. Work just comes to me.
Come on, man.
And I have the ability to turn down work because I'm not mercenary mode thinking that I got to do everything.
Yeah.
I'm proud of the awards that I've won from like first place things in the museums, exhibitions. I'm proud of being the first RVA representative to do the featured art poster for the Second Street Festival.
Come on.
Because
how many years in a row?
4 years in a row.
4 years, my bad. I had it 3 4 years. Keep going.
I'm proud of the community work that we're doing by not only showcasing the amazing Black artists that are in the area that are so phenomenal that everyone should know, that everyone should collect their art, but we're also doing the work of trying to improve the community. And people don't understand how taxing and how tolling it is to actually do good work in the community because the nerve of us, we put on this gala, me and my wife, we a two-man show, and we do all this ourselves. We curate it.
Wow.
We have like a committee that helps with like bounce ideas off, but for the most part, it's us. And the impact that we've been able to create and the things that we've been able to do in the community, in spite of the own hurdles and challenges that we have going on, is something that's been felt and it's something that's been, kind of resonating throughout the community. So I'm proud of that. Man, that's enough about me.
Hey, it's never enough. So first of all, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
And I love the long list. I think you should continue. I saw this on TikTok and I thought it was super dope by having a praise book of all your accomplishments and positive remarks that you got. Yeah. So, just like the times that you just feeling down, like, man, just go through the praise book and just remind yourself of who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I still want to give you the space to also shout out your friends or anybody who is just doing great work that you admire.
Absolutely. I mean, our community runs so long,
hey, man.
And I don't want to even start because
you're gonna miss somebody.
I'm gonna miss somebody. They're gonna feel slighted.
I feel it. Okay.
The people, they know who they are. I mean, the support that I've received in our artist community has been overwhelming, and the jewels that we've been able to drop and the conversations that we've been able to have, and it's been something that's been life changing because I'm not your typical artist, as you can see.
Yeah.
Like Ron ain't your typical artist.
Nobody.
You know,
y'all are different. Y'all
it's
are
like people have a perception of what they think an artist is, and then a lot of times when people meet me, they don't even know that I'm an artist. The funniest thing is that I kind of operate in two realms. David Marion is my artist name. My full name is David Marion Green. In the professional world, everyone knows me as the architect David Green. In the art world, everyone knows me as David Marion.
Gotcha.
But sometimes those two worlds collide and they cross over, and people know David Green as an artist. They don't know David Marion is an artist. And people have actually come to talk to me about my work.
Wow.
I know you're an artist. Have you seen David Marion? And I'll be like, really? Tell me about it.
Right. No, that's dope.
And then I break it down to them that's me.
Yeah.
And that's a funny that's happened to me like 4 or 5 times.
That's dope.
And it's something that's eye opening because you get to see how people view your art without any kind of like, conflict of interest, because it's easy for you to be like, I know you, so I'm gonna just big up your art even though if I don't respect it. But if you come telling me about an artist that you don't think is me, and you telling me how much you respect the artwork, then I know that you really love the artwork. Yeah.
So let's just talk a little bit about that. A moment that one really moved you. So a piece that you created that really moved you, and then a piece that you've created that really moved somebody else.
A piece that really moved me, and it's a lot of pieces. I know on the B-roll I talked about the artwork entitled Truths Never Told. That was a piece that really moved me because it was a real experience and it was a real conflict that I was dealing with. So me painting it was actually kind of therapeutic because it was kind of the catalyst for me preparing myself for that day that I got to really have those hard conversations with my child. But there's also another piece that I just created entitled We Deserve. And that I used my boy, I call him my twin because we share the same birthday, my boy Twan and his son. And they're holding up these signs. The son is holding a sign that says, my father deserves to see my future. And he's holding a sign saying, my son deserves a future. And I had the concept for that piece way before the George Floyd stuff. And when I tell you that all this art just kind of translates to today, and it's just timeless because I feel like we always gonna have these situations. But that was a piece that really resonated with me because it was a concept I was sitting on for over 4 years, and it took me 4 years to actually complete the painting because just so much was going on, and me just trying to like bring myself into a mental space where I could really sit with it and digest it. And also a piece I did called Mirrors, the one that you saw in the car. Mirrors of the past, reflection.
Man, I have that on my I posted on my Instagram. I love that one. It just to kind of give some insight, it's two boys kind of facing each other. One boy is kind of holding like a notepad. It has like a bicycle seat hat, and then the other boy's holding a MacBook, and then I think has a cap on, and basically they're two worlds. I want to say like the one boy on the left is from one of my favorite shows. Dang, I'm like drawing a blank right now. It should have renewed for a second season, but it didn't.
Rosewood?
Is it? It sounds familiar.
Yeah. He said in the Jim Crow era.
And then they went back in time. It's like a fantasy slash.
I think
it's called Rosewood. On HBO?
I think so. I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about, though. And then the other boy is kind of like in present day, but I love that painting. I put it on my Instagram as well.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No problem. So
that's probably the one piece that everyone else has really resonated with. And that's I've received so much response from that piece that I created that it's been overwhelming.
When I saw it, I was like, yo, like it's kind of scary, right? Because it's two reflections of the same point, right? Even though they're capturing two different time periods, right? It's kind of funny. I'm over here talking to you, but like I just remember very vividly, and I thought it was really, really cool because it was just two little boys facing each other, and for me, I think we often think about the past being this like far distant reality when it's happening right now.
happening right now.
Right, and that's like the part of it, right? Because we're so trapped in like 2023, but it's like, yo, 2023, there's so many mirrors from 1993. There's so many mirrors from 1963. There's so many mirrors from 1893. Like, they're just mirrors of each other. And if you would just take those time periods and put them together, that's kind of what I got from it.
That's exactly, you hit the nail on the head, man.
Oh, come on.
You hit the nail on the head. But the weird part about it is it's all about hope and gratitude if you look at both pieces, because the boy who was from the Jim Crow era, he's looking at a reflection of himself in the future, hopeful for what's to come. But the boy in the modern day past, he's looking at a reflection of himself in the past, grateful for everything that they've overcome, but knowing that we still got so much more to go.
To you, right? Because I know you, like, it's way too big of an idea, but just to you, what's some work that you feel like is really intentional to do right now in this moment?
We gotta respect each other. That's the work that we gotta do. I mean, it's so weird to look at the state of the culture right now, where things like toxicity can be celebrated.
But I was just singing this song.
Yo,
I was singing this song. It was so toxic.
Not only that, it's like we so desensitized right now.
That's true.
To the point that we can see death and it won't faze us.
Ooh. Yeah.
You can see somebody. How many videos have you seen right now of somebody being?
Watching no more.
Yeah, I can't watch it because I can't let that stuff infiltrate my spirit.
Yeah.
But to just see so many instances where somebody's been gunned down, and before you even think about calling 911, you want to pull your phone out and post it on the ground. That's a lack of respect. That's a lack of empathy. That's a lack of understanding that we used to have, and we need to get back to a point where we respect each other and know that our lives are valuable. If you know that your life is valuable, you're gonna move different. When you know that these aren't things that we are supposed to see, we ain't supposed to be exposed to death. That's not supposed to be a normal thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the one thing that I would say is that respect. That's the one.
Put it up for
man.
But I want to just know if there's any last minute things you really want to share more about your shit coming up. What would you say?
If I can talk to the next generation coming up, I would say, don't be afraid to be you. Don't be afraid to push the envelope and to do things that you feel or others may feel is out of the realm of possibility.
Come on.
Because not everyone's going to understand our story. Not everyone's going to know what you're capable of doing. And it's better to go full throttle than to live with the regret of not doing what you might have been meant to do. If you got a purpose, stand on it.
Yeah.
And when you find your purpose, hold on to it. Don't let anyone alter your purpose.
Yeah. What's scarier, right? The idea of, doing something and failing, or just never doing anything and always wondering what if. I think what if kills so many dreams.
What if kills so many dreams.
Yo, what if I would've, then I would've. And it's just like, dang. When I was in high school, there was this guy who came to my school and talked about the coulda, woulda, shoulda, something like that. And just the idea of never starting, never holding on to it, never trying, never maximizing your full potential. So David, thank you so much for being on Shine Collective Podcast.
Appreciate it. Keep shining.
So listen, with that, y'all, thank you so much for watching another episode of Shine Love Podcast with David Marion, also known as David Green.
Hopefully
we sharing the same space right now, for sure, man.
Absolutely. Appreciate you for having me.
All right, man. With that, so wrap, cut, and print.